Hi, valiant regular viewers. Hello to any new viewers. Please take off your MAGA hats if you're passing through. So, really, this reading, it's in response. It's a big question. Why is Trump still around? But it's also a response to that feeling when you wake up in the morning and you think, maybe it happened in the night. Maybe he'll be gone, and you flick onto your first news channel, however you consume that, and he's still there. That feeling. Okay. So why is he still there? And that got me thinking too, we should be grateful. We should be grateful that things are still standing to a large extent. You know, he's such a manic force for destruction. But I got thinking, what would have happened if Trump got ousted really early on, when he should have been, over emoluments on day 2? Or even more recently, what would have happened? Well, there'd be Pence, because Mueller's report's not in. That's another story we might get to. So it'd be Pence, and the Republicans would have their man, the guy they wanted there for the very own peculiar reasons. He would have been able to appoint all these 19th century judges because they had both arms of government until recently. Then the other thing that happens is the voting system wouldn't have been changed. Like, Trump has to stay in for all these things to become important enough that the whole of America realizes we have to look at the voting system itself. So there'd still be voter suppression, gerrymandering, the outright theft of votes. That'd still be going on. And it'll be business as usual for the big donors and lobbyists, because they won't have been routed out if Trump gets out tomorrow. It's like he has a function, however unattractive that might be as a prospect. So in the bigger metaphysical scheme of things, I wanted to look at what are the lessons in the Trump experience for America and the world, but primarily America, right? And then a viewer kindly sent me a link to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's corruption game, and I've put it on with this video. 5 minutes well spent, because she does a hypothetical with people from the ethics committee talking about corruption and what they waved through. So it's like it's this huge story, and it's this huge underbelly over and above Trump. And because he has such a mega persona, he looks like the problem, and if we get rid of him, you know, the problem will be over. No, he's pointing out the problems. This is my new thing. Well, it's not my new thing. I did a video on that months ago, but I think it's important to remember. So it's okay. He certainly won't be there post-2020 election. Please don't think I'm intimating that. More is not better. I simply mean that the work has not been done yet. This is my feel on it. So I'm going to use the Japaridze deck, and I'm going to use a new layout. So the question, what's the question? I think it's lessons for America. You know, in that general way, what are the lessons for America? You know, he's still there, so what is there to be learnt? Okay, now this new layout. It's a bit more complex than I do normally. Okay, come on down. Here we go. So, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I like this design. Yeah. Nearly there. Okay. It won't all fit in the camera range, but I will hold them up for your viewers. Okay. So what have we got in the centre? Oh, the Fool card. Okay. I think coming in the centre of such an important reading, I need to take a minute to explain the Fool in its more esoteric dimensions. So normally it's someone not looking, walking off a cliff. In this, it's the high wire act, same principle. Now, at its most foolish, someone can not look where they're going and walk off a cliff, or do a high wire act without a net. Okay, but at the other end, this is what we need to look at here. The Fool is 0 in the tarot deck. It is the beginning of the major arcana, the beginning of where we start our lessons in life, and the end. It is also the most evolved card. So it has a simple and a complex meaning. And it's bang at the centre. And America is at a watershed moment. Are you going to be foolish and ignore this man, or trust that there's a better thing to be had? The Fool in this context is about trusting the universe. Okay, now in the current position, this is the current situation when it's put together. Well, we have the 7 of Wands, normally the 7 of Swords, the rip-off card. This is the current situation. America and American people are being ripped off basically by the national narrative, the story that, you know, it's a level playing field and you just work hard and you can be rich. You know, it's not a level playing field. This is being lied to, but it's also the taking of everything. It's the big polluters taking everything. It's people taking money and not caring about public service. It's just not called the rip-off card for nothing. Okay? Then you've got the King of Tides or the King of Cups. And this is the higher self of the nation at stake here, the father of the nation. I don't know what happened to the mother. Maybe that's the Statue of Liberty. Hold on, I've got to have a little drink. But this is a card that's ruled by water and Cancer, and I think the actual United States astrological chart is a Cancerian chart. But this is the father figure. This is certainly not Trump. I think it's the, you know, the archetypal fathers of the nation. Even though some of those early ones were slave owners, let's not go there in this particular outing, shall we? You know, but it's the Abe Lincolns and the George Washingtons and the symbolic fathers of the nation. Okay. So these are the environmental or the external factors, you know. So let's have a look at what are the external factors acting on this dynamic of what is happening in the USA today. Okay, the world. The world, on one level, the end of a cycle. I think that's actually a positive iteration of it here. But the world, although it's not so obvious as in some of the other decks, is also about the world. It's about diversity. It's about interacting with the world as opposed to Trump's isolationism, you know. So then there is the Hierophant. We're talking external factors here. That's the system of law. That is the government, right? So the power in the government has changed. So now you have a situation where for the first time in 2 years, Trump and the GOP are held accountable. Right? So this is an environmental factor. Right? I think also in this sense it represents the Mueller investigation, because you can't look at the situation in America today, America now, without looking at Mueller. So, the Two of Cups, Two of Tides here, the wolves. All right, so remember, like everything, there's a duality to wolves. They're beautiful animals, but here we're talking about what are the qualities that have been attributed to the wolf, you know, traditionally, historically, and they haven't all been good, but many of them have too. Excuse me while I have another sip. So if you think of ancient Rome being founded with Romulus and Remus being suckled by the wolves, so there is this duality with wolves. It's a duality between the faithfulness and loyalty to the pack and the fierceness and isolation of the lone wolf. So it's both those things going on. And that's exactly what happened in these other two cards. The world and isolationism. You know, so this is about all those things at the same time. So these cards here, these three, I'll just move them in, are about hidden influences and what's beyond the control of the American people generally. And there's an advice element to this position. So hidden influences, beyond control, what have we got? All right. Interesting, we've got fire, fire, fire. Oh, there might be a fire theme going on. So, hidden behind the scenes, what influences are going on? Now, in the middle of those, the Tower. So it's like this is the crashing of this presidency. Even though we wake up in the morning and go, oh God, he's still there, it's actually already happened. It's got to officially play out. But there's no way he can come back from what is going to be revealed by Mueller, but also what is already known in the public domain when the Republicans are held accountable. It's been very, very destructive. And again, I sound like I'm feeling sorry for Trump. I'm so not. But again, the GOP has to be held accountable for this. He's their baby. Right. They have pushed this stuff, these rich, rich men in poor, poor states, lying generation after generation. You know, we care about you, the battlers. Trump's only jumped on that bandwagon, you know. No, when you could, you had men in tunnels this much higher than them, on their bellies, hauling coal in a bucket. Okay, this is how the great capitalists were born in America. The lies of the Republican Party that have been supported by poor leadership and poor church leadership and greed, all there, it's their tower too. Now, you have the sun. Normally, an optimal card, generating new energy, good energy for an idea or a project, awesome, excellent card. But when it's next to the tower, you have to look at its other meaning, which is the sun being shone on this. Then the Jester of Fire, the Page of Wands. Okay, so this is the hidden things going on. The GOP, I keep picking up on the GOP in terms of this reading as much as Trump, have been unable to rein in, or unwilling, They didn't try. Unwilling to rein in this guy. And this is like, in this context, next to the tower, an arsonist, basically. There are many other meanings to this, and gestures of pages and pages of messages. So there's a message here. But it's like, this guy is an arsonist. Trump is an arsonist, aided and abetted by his gang, the GOP. Duh. Okay. So, let's have a look. We now have two possible outcomes. All right, I'm going to move these cards down a bit, move these further in. This is one possible outcome. This is another possible outcome. And we may need clarifiers depending how it goes. So, just recapping where we've got to here with these other cards. What is the lesson? Why is Trump still here? We know he's a blatant rip-off artist and all of that. But America has to go back to its original values and fight for those values. Right. Things that were taken for granted for several generations. And America, please don't feel it's just you and you've been stuck with this one really destructive, insidious person. No, the UK is about to walk off a cliff that I would argue is worse than Trump, because Trump will go and Brexit will stay, unless, of course, it doesn't happen. It is the craziest thing in modern history. Australia, we're still lying to ourselves about people in detention on islands where Australians can't go. They've just sent the last of the kids off, or just around now, who have been there 5 years. 5 years. Look how you reacted to the border, as you should. Kids in detention. What have you heard from Australia? That'd be nada as a country. Of course, there's good people fighting the fight. Good lawyers, excellent doctors, fighting, because the Australian government said you cannot visit these places, these islands, you cannot report. So reporters couldn't go, politicians can only go if they sign all these things and get shown the pretty tour, you know. So the point I'm making is you've got Trump, but Trump will go. This is your opportunity to do something really big and good. Excuse me. Now, here we go. Possible outcomes. Well, I know which I'd prefer. Let's have a look. So, possible outcome one is, it's funny, it's what I've been talking of all through this video. This is if you leave Trump alone, in the sense of the GOP leaving him alone and going down that route, you have more hidden agendas in the form of the High Priestess. You have the Seven of Cups, which is illusion, delusion about money. Look here, don't look over there. If I can make more money, that means it's a great thing to do, and it doesn't matter about the workers, and it doesn't matter who I tread on, and it doesn't matter who I ignore, because I'm going to get rich thinking. And war, outright, boom, war. That's one outcome, America. The other outcome is judgment, hanging in for the legal process. It is happening. It is happening. Okay. Going down the legal route. Six of Wands or Six of Swords, that's the one in the Rider-Waite where the couple are rowing away from strife, moving to a better place, soaring the sky. And celebration, the Three of Cups, in particular women celebrating, but generally celebration. So, America, these are the two. This is the GOP. This is what the Dems promised. They're going to have their own issues soon enough. It's really, really important that it doesn't go back to business as usual. I can't stress that enough. And that too is the same in other countries. We don't have the distortion of voting that you guys do, and we have a much better system of making voting accessible and stuff. But Australia is far from perfect, and lots of countries are struggling with this lurch to the right. I think there'll be a swing back before much longer, but definitely. So you're not alone, and it's important to look out. It's important to look up. Keep the vision. Create the vision of the society you want to live in. And as a sociologist, I say we are being told every day that we live in an economy. We live and breathe by what the economy is doing and the stock market and all that. We are a society. The economy reflects the society. It is not the society. It's what people are doing with money. Okay. Now, before I go, I just want to say thank you for the comments. But also, I'm taking on more personal readings again now. I'm back. So I love to meet you guys. So if you want a personal reading, email me and we'll organise a Skype. Okay? Don't forget, discounts for vets, people on low incomes, and repeat readings. I wish you all the best. So sleep well, and don't worry if it's here a bit longer, because this has to be sorted out. Okay? Bye.